Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to your home of top flight skip barber action here each and every week on Monday nights for the Monday Night Lights. Skippies this week for round 8 coming to you live from Belle Island in Detroit. And joining me in the commentary booth once again this week is Alex John AJ. Big night of racing ahead for round 8.
Forward to seeing how everyone's going to go tonight. I think this track's going to separate the really good drivers from the just good drivers. Keeping off the wall is going to be key.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be key. And I'll tell you what else is key. Great strength of field here tonight, around 33.80. This track is... it's popular amongst the guys, we were saying just before, popular amongst the guys who enjoy it. Bit of a mixed bag in terms of participation this week, but certainly some of our regulars coming out to support the series. Of course, we've got Ben Snell, Team Milo on your teammate here on camera at the moment. Car number 4 here tonight, out there setting his laps. Fahim Antoinides, currently second position in the championship. He's joined us once again from UK and I. Speaking of second in the championship, why don't we take a look at the current scores? Your Team Milo teammate Russell Clark taking a, well, it's hard even to call it a mid-season lead in the championship for season 14. It's round 8, of course. Drop round start coming into play, which might bring him back a little bit to the field, but he's got an outstanding 28-point lead. Oh, sorry, 18-point lead, I should say, if I can get my maths right. 36-40, yeah, 18 points over Fahim Antoinides, who is on screen at the moment. Of course, why don't I grab Russell as we give him his moment in the sun here. With the Golden Stig, Mr. Tim Awima in third. Great season, breakout season, you might say, for the Golden Stig. Who is again out on track tonight, making his third appearance in a row in the sporting the new Golden Stig livery. Car number 11 out on track here tonight. He's sitting in P3. Mark Jeffrey, who is not in the top split tonight, leading the charge for the second split drivers. A Team Venom racer in P4 with Sean Caron in P5. Plenty of regulars up there in front, and guys look to be enjoying the season, and some unfamiliar names right up the tippy top there, AJ.
Yeah, well, just back to Russell Clark. It's great to see him up the top of the standings, and yeah, he's had a absolutely buster of a season so far this year. Usually, it's Russell that's I'd say getting taken out, but maybe he's contributed to a few of those. But only one 0 result for the season, so good for Russell. But yeah, Fahim's in here tonight, so that'll be interesting to see how he goes. Cristobal Otero Roman as well. I was watching him in the 2K Cup, so he knows this track very well. And of course, all the Aussies got a chance to experience it last night in the Australasian Super Skips.
Yeah, they sure did. I was out there and amongst it last night. Had a great time. I quite enjoy this track. It's technical and it rewards those who are consistent. And perhaps like me, you know, you're going 9/10 rather than the 10/10. You can pull off a good result. 10/10 will sometimes buy you a trip into one of the plentiful walls here. Great to see Joe Baldwin here from ANZ making his first appearance in the top split tonight. Good luck to young Joe. He's a truck driver by trade, and it's great to see him out there having a good run. Mick Gray, another one back in the top split, sporting the great patriotic green and gold livery there for Mick. Of course, one of our original Monday Night Lights races. And Kevin Henderson, another one back in the top split. Well, he hasn't been out of it really, but not as regular this season as we have seen him in past seasons, but certainly out there putting on a good show as always. Just going to check our quality standings for the moment. Provisionally, we have Fahim Antoinides up there with Sven Toraduas. Sorry, Sven, I think I've got your first name right, but the rest of it I think I'm butchering, with Ben Snell sitting in P3 for Team Milo. The track out there tonight's about 30 degrees, so there's pretty decent time sitting there in the 44s for the first time round, and we might even see the odd 43. Ben Snell setting a 44.1 and jumping to the top of the table at this stage with about 2.5 minutes to go, AJ.
Yeah, and how close is it between for him and Sven? It's only 0.02 of a second between them at the moment. As Sven's gone to the top. You know, I'm actually thinking that Sven might be an outside chance for the win here tonight, because I've been watching him race. I think he's been in a couple of Tim's streams and a couple of your streams, and he's always strong around here.
Yeah, he's always up and in the mix. Sven. He's a great guy to race with too. He's also a Twitch streamer. OLMBAS is the channel. I don't think he's streaming tonight, otherwise we might do a bit of a cross to him. But great guy, a lot of fun to race with, and really pleased to see him doing well as he's just pulled up after his race, his lap. Another one we've seen back on track we haven't seen in a little while is Jeremiah Morton. Another strong local driver. I don't know how much time he spent around this track here as quali runs out, but I guess we'll have to find out how he goes in the race. And while the guys are gridding up, let's run through our starting grid tonight for round 8, coming to you from Detroit Grand Prix Circuit, also known as Belle Isle. On pole, as we were saying, Sven Toraduas from Scandinavian Club. Fantastic first pole for him tonight in Monday Night Lights. P2, Ben Snell for Team Milo and ANZ, of course, leading local boy. P3, another Team Milo racer in Ian Bevan. P4 for him Antonitis, perhaps not where he's used to qualifying, and perhaps we'll see a bit of a hard charge for him tonight, although passing around here is pretty difficult without forcing a mistake of one of your fellow competitors. P5 for Russell Clark, looking to hang on to the lead of the championship at this stage. P6, Kevin Henderson, looking to get amongst it with a 1:44.4, pretty decent time, but let's see what he can do from there. P7, Jeremiah Morton, as we said, making a welcome return to Monday Night Lights in P7. P8, the Golden Stick himself for week 3 of his journey in the top split for Monday Night Lights. P9, his teammate at Team Venom, John Skoltz, looking to push forward from there, no doubt. P10, Cristobal Otero Roman, our regular Iberian compatriot here, who's a bit further down the order than we've seen him before, and looking to move forward once again. P11, Francisco Javier Novo Aneas. That wasn't bad. It rolled off the tongue quite well, but hopefully I got one of the names right there with a 1:45 dead. Joe Baldwin, as we said, starting in P12, last of the points scorers for Monday Night Lights as they line up. Samuel Collins, another MNL regular in P13. Mick Gray, stalwart of the MNLs, as we know, in P14. And P15, Brett McBurney with a 1:47.7, hoping to do better in the race. Of course, just quickly, they're all on the grid. I was going to go through race conditions, but the lights are coming on. The engine revs are rising. Red light and green, and they're away for this round 8 of, someone stalled on the grid. It's Fahim. He stalled on the grid and been hit up the rear already. Action aplenty, and currently in P2 for the season. Fahim Antonides fails to get off the grid and is straight in the pits as the race continues on down the front straight of Central Avenue on the approach to turn 3 on lap 1. Sven taking the tighter line to protect from Ben Snell, who's looking to almost go around the outside, and dramatic start already, AJ.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's so unlucky for him. I don't know what happened. Perhaps a hardware failure. Version of a car failure, I guess, in sim racing, but it's just going to be up to Sven to try and keep ahead now. But good passing opportunities into 3 and 7, so it's not going to be straightforward as a normal drive around a street track may normally be.
No, exactly right. I'm going to see if I can find Fahim's moment. Oh no, I've just skipped too far forward. Let's see if I can get back to it here. Just going back, see what happened there. Look, he's just completely missed the start, and Kevin Henderson's had pretty much nowhere to go. I don't know if he was out having a coffee or something, but or as you say, just the failure there. But he's missed the start entirely, and that's the end of his night, unfortunately. And but we will continue on. Riding on board Russell Clark at the moment, comfortably sitting in P4 as the guys come down the back straight here. Or one of the back straights, I should say, around these tricky right-handers here on the approach to round out the start of lap 1 here, and action. Well, there was a plenty off the line, but the guys have settled down and are racing pretty much single file here, looking to sort themselves out for the remainder of the race. AJ.
Yeah, absolutely, and it'd be smart racing to just tuck in at the moment and just get the laps ticked off. And the curbs around here are quite high, so I'm going to be interested to see if the guys are careful with the curves or whether they like to hammer them because, you know, picking up some wind damage, you know, could make the difference later on in the race if you want to try and get the passes done down the long back straight.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. Sven Torredues, he's now making a bit of a run at things, although Brett McBurney looks like he's just had a moment, has joined us in the pits. Let me just hop on back, see what's happened to him on the approach down to turn 3. What's going on, Brett? Oh, he's just missed his braking marker and into the wall, and that was all she wrote. Hit the eject button, and his competitive night at least has come to an early conclusion. What's going on here with the cameras? There we go. Oh, another bit of contact in the background, but things seem to be settling in at the front with Sven really making a great fist of it in front of Ben Snell, your teammate there at Team Milo, AJ. He's leading the charge, but he's at the moment just that magic 1 second out from behind. And of course, the draft isn't too much of an advantage here in terms of passing opportunities as it is at so many tracks, but it's more about hanging on and sticking to a guy that might have a tenth or two on you over the course of a lap, but then waiting and seeing what you can force by way of mistakes. Look how close they go to that wall on the out of the second last corner there, running up Sunset Drive now into the final straight section, and then through turns 1 and 2, riding that inside curve of the driver's right on turn 1, and then trying to get the beautiful run there up one of the longest straights here at Central Avenue on the approach to turn 3. Like I was saying, AJ, not really a draft to pass circuit, although we see Ian Bevan now pulling out in front.
Ben just pulling out of that one there, letting Ian pass. Ben got very loose on the exit of 2, and that's allowed Ian to get past there in the draft.
Yeah, he made a nice clean move there with the help of his teammates. Of course, often discretion, the better part of valor around here. If you make that little mistake, I'm fond of saying sometimes it's better to take your medicine and let the guy through and cost yourself, you know, a tenth more, but not 3/10 with the battling that might go on. And these guys have got any hope of getting back on in touch with Sven. They're going to have to drive pretty smart as this front 5 with Kevin Henderson on the tail now. They've got a 1.8 second lead over Jeremiah Morton, who's on front, and almost, no, he's got Scalzi and the Golden Stig wearing that golden livery tucked in right behind, and they're racing really tight there for positions 7 through about 9 by the looks, or even down to Joe in 10th, Joe Baldwin. So each having their own little race within a race, and no doubt having a good time with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see the Milo boys up front in a pack of 3. Oh, it looks like Kevin Henderson getting really close to the back of Russell Clark there. But yeah. Oh, Ben's just hitting the wall. Oh, we need to make sure everyone gets through that cleanly. Oh my goodness, it looks like they have, but oh my goodness, Ben nearly upside down there at one point.
Far out. He has taken a big spill. Let's just have a look on board. He's run wide out of the second last corner and just tried not to get out of it. But what can he do there? That's a massive incident. And can he make it to the pits? Yeah, looks like he's going to get in there. Won't cost him too much time, but certainly any chance at the win here tonight has just gone begging, and that will have cost these guys a little bit more time, as Sven now is out to a 2.7 second gap over what is now the leading Milo driver, and Ian Bevan. I think Ian might have been on the front of that train anyway, and Ben's really cost himself a podium here tonight. Sometimes he's his own worst enemy, but these walls, of course, are no man's friend around here tonight, AJ.
No, absolutely, and well, that's 2 big names out as well. Ben Snell, we know he can win a race, and Fahim Antonitis. So really, it's Sven's race to lose now. And I'm just looking, and he's doing like near quali pace still. He set the fastest lap at 44 dead, a good 10.5 quicker than Ian Bevan, and easily 2-3 tenths up on the rest. So, you know, it looks like Sven, he just needs to keep it clean, not hit those walls, but yeah, that's amazing driving to put those sort of laps together from Sven.
Yeah, he's doing some great laps around here and putting on a really strong performance. We're talking about him being a good guy to race with, but he's raced with some really, rubbed shoulders even with some really strong races here this week, putting a lot of laps and really looking to be paying off now as that second group now with it's head up by Ian Bevan. Ian, of course, is another one of our Twitch streamers, and if I might see, let me just see here if I can do a bit of a cross here, see what Ian's up to. If I hang on, where's it going? No, doesn't. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. This is what it looks like on board with Mr. Ian Bevan at the moment. He's tucked in behind, he's tucked ahead of his teammate Russell Clark with Kevin Henderson, stuck in behind there, looking to make what he can of it. But look up in there in the distance, you can see young Sven Toraduas. He's as Ian goes very close to the wall on the outside there on his screen, but certainly putting on a good show there for his viewers over at Twitch. You can see him at Ian Bevan on Twitch if you're interested in seeing a first-person view. But as the race continues on now, Sven Toraduas, he's out. Sven's out by about 2.6 seconds, so he's not really pulling away too much anymore, AJ, and but certainly a commanding lead at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Ian might be able to match him for pace, but you know, whether he's going to be able to bridge a 2.6 second gap, I don't know. I think they're probably going to be racing for second place, but you know, Ian can be comfortable knowing he's got his teammate behind him, so shouldn't have anything too surprising happen throughout the race.
No, that's right. You've also got this second pack here, led by Jeremiah Morton with John Scholtz, Tim Awema, and I think is Joe Baldwin still hanging on there, just tailing off at about a second off the back of the Golden Stig there. The Stig, of course, another streamer tonight. We might go have a look at him shortly, but these guys now in a battle of three. Great to see Scholtzy and Tim Awema up with the likes of Jeremiah Morton. He hasn't spent a lot of time in the skips lately, but from memory he was very strong in a skip. He also does a bit of real life racing, if I'm not mistaken, and pretty strong at it too. As there's a lapped car I'm seeing them overtake at the moment. There's no one particularly plummeting down the order. It's
that's him.
Of course it is. Yeah, for him probably. Yeah, I'll be interested to hear what he's got to say if he hangs around afterwards as to what happened off the line. But jumping back up the front, you've got Ian Bevan looking to have got either a poor run out or maybe clipped a wall or something. He's taking a very defensive line as Russell was all over the back of him there on the turn and into turn 7 there at the end of the back straight through this tricky 8, 9, 10, 11 complex. Sweeping left hand as they look. You get up to about third gear as you run around here. Click it down into second on the approach, swing out to the driver's left and then cut right back through this tough first gear hairpin turn at turn 11 as you approach. Now there's a bit of debate here, AJ. I don't know how many laps you've done around here, whether this is a second or a third gear corner. Some guys, even the fastest amongst them, like the Dennis Johansson of the world, through turn 12 like to grab second gear for rotation, a quick shift up into third, and then third, of course, on the way through turns 13 and 14 up Sunset Drive into the finishing area here. What's your thoughts there, mate? Second for the rotation, or you like to carry the extra little couple of k's of speed with third there?
Look, I'm always looking for the extra rotation in these things, so I'll go second all day. Just having a look through the field, and you know, it looks like a fair few people have got mangled front wings, so not going to be the easiest for them to get the moves done down the straight. John Scholtz, I saw having a little bit of a fake on Jeremiah Morton, but not able to do it that lap.
Yeah, it looks like they're still nose to tail there. I just noticed Joe Baldwin going through the pits. Not sure what happened there, but it's not what he'd like to see on his opening foray in the top split tonight. You're right, Scholtzy sporting a bent front wing though. The curbs around here, there's some of them that are friendly, some of them that are very unfriendly, but it looks like he's had a bit of a brush with both sorts there, with that front wing really coughing a pounding there from Scholtzy. He doesn't seem to be hurting him too much as well, he threatens to go around the now the inside at the end of central. At the end of the strand into turn 7 there, but not really having the run on it to get it done there. So jumping back up to the podium positions, we've got Sven. Of course, he's cleared out, although he's back by a couple of tenths. Last lap Ian did was matched him 10th for 10th at a 1:44 dead, but Ian Bevan unable to really make an impression. He's got a couple of tenths up from where he was at just the 2.4 seconds now, whereas it's 2.6, and you can see the difference there visually on your screen. But look at that. You got Russell Clark now putting all sorts of pressure all over the back of Ian. Ian won't be threatened by that. He's got a cool head under those sorts of conditions and a lot of experience, of course, but Kevin Henderson looming very patiently in the background too. We know Kevin likes his racing and enjoys a good battle with as much as anyone. He's going to make me eat my words here. No, he tucks back in.
Yeah, that was very cheeky from Kevin. I thought he was nearly going to hit the back wheel of Russell there for a second.
Yeah, and he's not known for the best internet connection either, but he is monstering the back of that Team Milo car there, as Ian perhaps looking to take advantage of a distracted Russell Clark there as they make their way out onto the back straight, running up the Strand Drive straight now on the mid stages of lap 8, just the 14 laps here, so about 6.5 to go. This time Henderson looking up the outside as Russell takes the outside on the approach to turn 7, as Russell takes, well, it looked like he was taking a defensive line, but quite meekly surrenders that gap, and perhaps in favour of not losing the draft of Ian Bevan in front of them, although they're out to 9/10 now. I don't know if Russell got a poor run out there or whether it was just a tactical decision to salvage and not sort of ruin his race, potentially by risking it with the walls here, AJ.
Yeah, and just while we were watching the Team Milo guys battling with Kevin Henderson, John Skoltz was able to get through on Jeremiah Morton at turn 3. A very nice move down there, outbraking Jeremy and getting a nice clean move done.
Yeah, absolutely, and tucked in behind Jeremiah Morton now as the Team Venom, his Team Venom compatriot there in the Golden Stig. And once again, if we grab a look on board with the Golden Stig, he is also racing there live tonight on the newly rebranded Twitch channel of the Golden Stig, and this is what it's looking like from his cockpit as he chases down there Jeremiah Morton, who is, like I said, a very experienced and talented skippy driver. Great to see the Golden Stig there up fighting amongst it. He has had an absolutely fantastic purple patch of late and doing well here. Unlike what I said, this is only his 3rd trip into the top split, but making a great fist of it tonight, AJ.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just watching Russell around the lap before, and he actually made contact with the wall. Nice and flush, so I don't know if he'll pick up suspension damage from that, but we might need to keep an eye on his lap times and see if that's going to affect him. But Kevin Henderson as well, putting in the fastest lap of the race that lap as he got past Russell. So Kevin Henderson and Ian Bevan currently lapping just a little bit quicker than Sven, and they've got the gap down to 2.2 now, so they've taken out a couple of tenths. Be interesting to see if they can bridge that gap.
Yeah, well, so we're looking at about 2.2 second gap from Bevan up to Sven, as you say. But I've got to tell you, they've only taken, what, 3.5, 4 tenths out in the past half a dozen laps. And with only the 5 laps to go as they cross the line this time at the tail end of lap 9, leader crossing now to start lap 10. Don't know if there's enough time. Ian's certainly putting in the laps, but he's only sort of half a tenth, if anything, quicker than Sven, and Sven's really putting in a fantastic show here tonight, AJ.
Yeah, he's just taken out another 1/10.5. It's just hovering around 2 seconds. He just needs to find 8 tenths in the next couple of laps, see if he can get back into the draft range. And man, I can see Ian is absolutely pushing everything out of that car right now.
Yeah, everything and more. Hopefully not too much more, because as we've said, the walls around here are an ever-present and imminent danger. So he's pushing very hard though. 43s in these sort of conditions is pretty tidy racing, it has to be said, and he is the proud owner of the fastest lap today, and that's undrafted too, with a 43.9 even. So good driving from Ian with the number 3 plated car here tonight, looking to represent the Team Milo guys, of course, with his unique black Team Milo livery. Jumping a bit further back, any battles? Let me just see. Cristobal Otero Roman, one of our MNL regulars, he's looking to chase down on the back of that pack between John Skoltz, Jeremiah Morton and Tim Awema. these guys battling it out for the last of the top 5 positions down to P8. I don't have much time around here. He said he did the 2K Cup, but Roman we're used to seeing a bit further up the order, and he's the number 2 plated car here tonight with an I rating of around 46, just shy of 4,700. We know he's got talent in these cars. This is his mainstay, of course, but not where he'd like to be here, although still within the M&L points. We might just, why don't we hop on board here with the Golden Stick, if I can find the right, oh, sounded like contact there. Here we're on board with Tim Weeman out in the midst, in the throes of battle, as it were. He's stuck in behind there with Jeremiah Morton, who's racing with his teammate in John Scholz. Actually, we might not jump on board with Jeremiah Morton now, right up the back through turn 1, shifting the weight of the car, not using the curve there like Scholty did. Scholty and in fact Jeremiah not using all of the track on exit there, down this long run down Central Avenue into turn 3. No passing opportunity. I think neither of them have got the best run out of there. Morton now using much more of the track on entry there, and looking to close up a little bit from that, but still, again, yeah, Morton using a bit more of the track there, and the draft indeed. It'll be interesting to see if he can get the run now on the entry into turn 6 and the long run up Strand Drive. Nice rotation there from Scholz. This is where the move can be done, folks. He's got a good run. Morton now on Scholz. Scholz will probably stick to the right hand side, as he does. Yeah, Morton's got a great run there down into turn 7 and looks to get it done. Scholzy just lets him by there, and that's how you get it done here at Belle. As we see, Roman looking to go too deep in the background and allows the Golden Stick to hang on to that position. Was almost all over there for Roman there, but managed to hang on to it, but it has opened a bit of a gap between this bunch of 4, and yeah, perhaps one that he might regret. As we jump back up front now, Ian Bevan 2.5 seconds behind. Looks like he might have lost a bit of time there through that last lap to Sven up front, AJ.
Yeah, Ian 4/10 slower than Kevin on that last lap around, so Kevin's caught up a little bit. Looks like Ian's been able to stabilise that gap again, but now Kevin coming under 5 from Russell. He's only got another 3 laps to make a move, but I'll tell you what, that battle with Cristobal and Timo Weimer, Tim is in all sorts of hot water at the moment. Cristobal looking to get the move done down into turn 3 this time. And it looks like Tim might just, yeah, he's backed out and let Cristobal through. Cristobal is actually, he's got the pace of the front 4 cars. He's done a 44.0. But I don't know whether he just had a bad qualifying and he's found himself down the grid. But he's got the speed, and now he's setting to work to catch the 2 ahead of him.
Yeah, speaking of the 2 ahead of him, you got Morton and now Scholty going through on Morton there. I don't know if Morton's picked up some damage, but he's really slowed down. He might have picked up that dreaded slowdown that I experienced last night. And now, what's he going to do? Oh, he's moving over to the left. Really, he's got 2 guys coming at him very hard down the run into turn 7. Looks like he's going to stick it up the inside. Carries that speed. Really, both of them doing very well there, giving each other racing room. That's Morton and Roman there, getting through. And meanwhile, the Stig in car number 11 sitting behind, licking his lips, hoping that he can get an opportunity now with just the 2, just shy of 2 laps to, or just over 2 laps to go. Did Scott hit the wall then, AJ?
I'm not sure. I don't think so, but they were taking very interesting lines through turns 5 and 6. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but Jeremiah Morton, yeah, lost a stack of time through turn 5 and 6, and I suggested he's probably going to lose a place come turn 3 this lap.
Yeah, as we see Roman now ducking up the inside now. Oh, that's really going to cost them a bit of time there. Neither of them getting an optimal run there. Question is, can Scholty take advantage there? He's not quite out to a second gap. It's actually only a half, so these guys will still be in the draft, but they're going to fight it out here. Oh, the jinking and the diving down there. And Jeremiah Morton now looking to get it done through turn 3. Roman not making it easy for him. Oh, how did they get through there? That's fantastic driving from both of them. Meanwhile, we might just duck back up the front now. Sven, he's slowing, I think, because Ian Bevan is now 1.8 seconds behind. Both of them doing 43's last lap. but it looks like Sven's coming back to him. Ian
Yeah.
Bevan setting the fastest lap there, last lap with a 1:43.7, AJ.
Yeah, that is an absolute blistering pace. I think can't remember what their qualifying times were, but 43.7. He's up within 2 seconds, but you know, like you say, he's only got a lap and a half to catch him now. So perhaps Sven just playing it safe, managing the gap, and making sure he's going to reach a checkered flag. I'd say.
Yeah, potentially. Something must have happened. Ooh, was that Roman clipping the wall? No, it looks like he's got away with it. But yeah, look, I don't know what happened this lap, because certainly last lap, though, Bevan and Sven were both in the 43s, although Bevan setting the fastest lap of the race, as I said, with a 43.7, although Henderson not far behind with a 43.7, just a hundredth in it in terms of who had the fastest lap. These guys out front are certainly setting good times, but the battling, of course, is a bit further down. With Russell Clark now about half a second behind Henderson as they start out this front straight for the final lap. I don't know that Clark will have the racing or the pace out the run out of turn 2 to get it done. Oh, he's very late on the brakes. Did he clip the wall there?
I think he may have.
He's only got to hang on for a little over half a lap. Hopefully, for his sake, he can. The rest of these guys angrily racing, well, not angrily, but looks a bit feisty here in this pack of 4 now, battling for P5, led by John Scholz. Jeremiah Morton now, all sorts of pressure to hop on board with Jeremiah now. What can he do on the run now through turns 5 and now into turn 6 as they come around to take the Strand Drive now for the final time. Great run from Scholz out of there. He'll move over to the right-hand side and not relinquish that defensive position, no doubt. What can Jeremiah Morton do here on the run down into turn 7? It's a bit busy behind them as well. Almost through right, but not quite. Scholz, beautiful line through there. Hangs on to that position. They're all using every bit of the curbs and more. It's very hard to get it done through there, I think. Jumping back up to the front, though, we've got Sven, who's now 1.8 seconds as he's rounding turn 12 for the final time now in through turn 13, coming around to take his maiden Monday Night Lights victory. Congratulations to Sven. Fantastic drive. Ian Bevan looking to come home in second place. I should stay on our leader for the final lap. Well done to Sven. Ian Bevan coming across in second. Henderson just pipping out Clark. Scholz now on the run to take out the final position in top 5, leading this hard charging pack of 4 cars there, with the golden stick, Mr. Tim Weimer on the tail end. AJ, fantastic racing by all involved.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic, and I guess you know, we saw a few moves here and there, not too many, but it was absolutely fantastic battling right throughout the field.
Yeah, mate, I was really impressed with how the guy, just on board now with Mr. Snell, who once again was his own worst enemy tonight, unfortunately, coming in contact with the walls. He's going to need drifting for us. He's usually good for a drift at the end of the race. We know how much he loves his drifting, perhaps not in the headspace for it tonight. Although Mr. Baldwin trying to show us what his drift skills are like. Bayman tonight is, of course, down in P14. I've got to tell you, I would have thought with being on lap 1, we might have seen a bit more of a return through the field from Fahim tonight, because usually this track has so much chaos around it, AJ, but unfortunately for him, but fortunately for the other guys and for the race as a whole, there was a lot of really close and really good racing out there tonight.
Yeah, and like you say, not that many people coming into grief, so for him not being able to capitalise on anything like that, Ben Snell got back out there and managed to P12, so he will pick up some points for the Monday Night Light Championship. But yeah, everyone else battling so hard, but managing to keep it clean at the same time. So I'm really impressed, and I can't believe that 14 laps went by so quick. I didn't even realise we were getting up to the end of the race. It just flew by.
Yeah, and that's what good racing's all about, right? But why don't we check out our results here for round 8 of the Monday Night Lights, season 14, coming to you from Belle Island, of course. Sven Torreduas from Scandinavia, taking out his maiden Monday Night Lights victory. Really drove away with it tonight. He had pole position and really led from flag to flag. So congratulations to Sven. Ian Bevan for the ANZ Club and Team Milo. First of the Team Milo drivers there in P2. Pretty satisfying drive for him, no doubt, but still 2 seconds back with certainly having pace to match it with Sven tonight, just Sven managing to skip away a bit. P3 to Kevin Henderson. That's a great podium for Kevin, hard fought. And congratulations to him, up 3 spots from where he started tonight. Team Milo's second representative tonight in P4 and looking to consolidate his place at the top of the Monday Night Lights Championship. His young Russell Clark. Congratulations to him. John Scholtz in P4. I beg your pardon, P5. He another one up 4 positions tonight, driving through the field a little bit and on the front of a very busy pack there. Well driven to John Scholtz, rounding out the top 5. P6 went to Jeremiah Morton, a welcome return for him tonight, putting on a really good show. Some of the closest racing we've seen around a track like this as well, so tight in a long time. So well done to Jeremiah and those who raced with him. Cristobal Otero Roman from Iberia in P7. Certainly had the pace to compete there tonight, but perhaps not had a lot of track time here this week other than the 2K Cup. And in amongst the guys here who've raced a lot this week, he certainly found the competition hot tonight. The Golden Stig, Mr. Tim Awima, once again in the top split tonight and putting on a really good show. A really good performance tonight, controlled and finishing inside the top 10. He's in P3 in the championship, so picking up some more good points. Francisco Javier Novo Anayas from Iberia in P9. First time we've seen him tonight. Hopefully we can see a bit more of him in the weeks to come. Samuel Collins from ANZ rounding out the top 10. Samuel, of course, a Monday Night Lights regular. P11, another stalwart of Monday Night Lights in Mick Gray in the championship points. Congratulations to Mick. Good to see him back in the top split. Ben Snell, the final Team Milo racer. Unfortunately for Ben, he was, a victim of his own undoing, so to speak, with the walls here jumping out to bite him once again. Looks like he's ready for a chat in a minute as well. Joe Baldwin, first time for him in the top split tonight with a race that perhaps he'd want to forget, having to go through the pits after the walls, claiming another victim. But hopefully we'll see more of Joe in the weeks to come. For him, Antonides is another one down, ready for a chat. It'll be interesting to see what he's got to say about what happened at the start there. And Brett McBurney, another victim and down 13 laps. Our only retirement here tonight, AJ. The results really tell the story. I was quite surprised. The guys raced hard, clean and fair. And for the most part, people got away without the walls claiming too many victims.
Yeah, surprised. There were a couple of cars throughout the field. They were giving the wall a rub, but even with the skip Barber, they managed to get away with it. But championship implications for this round. Russell Clark, I was wondering whether he'd be able to stick it out, but another solid result for him. And yeah, he's going to extend that lead further. For him, he's going to get bundled down with Timo Weemer getting good points. And I just had a look at split 2, and Mark Jeffrey, he's scored with a P7 in the second split, and also Sean Carron won the second split. So big haul of points for him. For him, I reckon we'll see him bundled out of the top 3 potentially after this round.
Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting to hear that Sean, who's been so often in the top split of late, has obviously had a bit of a rough run and not been able to maintain that top split Guernsey. But taking out the second split, which I know he's done a couple of times last season, they're pretty handy points. So he'll be looking to get amongst it with the big boys once again as soon as possible. But certainly in the meantime, keeping his championship hopes alive. Now, we've got a few lined up in the booth. I'm just trying to pick the finishing order. I think, Ian Bevan. There it is. Let me just drag him up. Ian Bevan, welcome to the Top Split TV commentary booth, mate. Look, you certainly had the pace, and I think you took out fastest lap in clean air, but Sven was able to sort of get that break early and run on with it, mate. But it looked like a good drive out there. How did it feel in the cockpit?
It felt like another second place, which I've had a lot of this week. It was good. Look, it was all my mistakes that let Sven get away to start with, and I eventually found that race pace. It took a while to come to me, but I think we were pretty evenly matched. And if I'd been into rough range, I think it could have been a different story. But I don't know about you boys, but I was watching the relative, and it sort of started at 2.7. It bounced down and up and down and up and down and up. I think it got to about 1.8, but it just wasn't enough laps. Very, very evenly paced. It was a good race.
Yeah, mate. Looked like you had a bit of fun there with some of the guys around you, but once you got through there, it just got the head down and worked hard, and you were going lap for lap with Sven, and you sort of pegged it back a bit. In fact, overall, I think you got about half a second back from when you started, but when it's only a tenth or half a tenth a lap, it's certainly hard to bridge that gap, and the track itself is a bit of a challenge in so much as every time you push, those walls look pretty close, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically nowhere to push. You can push a little bit through turn one, but then you compromise your exit down the long straights, and all the other places where you feel you might be able to gain a tenth, you're just dicing with death. You're dicing with the 0x and collapsed wheels, or you're just getting the timing slightly wrong and you're not getting the exit. So incredibly, incredibly difficult place to push here. And look, congratulations to Sven, because I probably didn't say that, and I should do. He ran a really, really good race. He was incident free, I suspect, and was just the fastest car out there, really, overall. So did a great job. It's a real shame to see Ben in the wall. I probably threw him right a bad corner that leading into that, and that was a shame, sort of threw his concentration. Yeah, and I think Kevin Henderson got third, did he?
Yeah, mate, he did. So great drive from Kevin. There's some good pack racing around the joint. So the boys put on a good show for the viewers tonight, and it was a good race, mate. But thank you once again for joining us here on the top split for Monday Night Lights. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Always ever you guys for doing the broadcast. Thanks very much. And I always look forward to finishing the race and then getting off and hearing what you guys have to say. I was hoping Tim was going to be commentating tonight. No offense to you, AJ, because Tim has a habit of getting into me about my race tactics. It's about time that he and I had an argument on the air about this, because I know what I'm doing. But no, thanks very much for the broadcast, and I do look forward to watching it every week. So cheers, and we'll see you. Don't think I'll see you next week. I don't think I'm going to do next week, but certainly the week after.
Beautiful. All right, thanks, Ian, and congratulations once again on a fantastic result.
Thanks, mate.
There you go. The gauntlet has been thrown by Mr. Ian Bevan, our part-time commentator and pace man around here. Certainly one of the quickest top split commentators we've got around here. Of course, taking out the Super Skips race last night with a clean pair of heels. The gauntlet has been thrown, and we'll be interested to see if those two can have a chat in the booth in the future, AJ.
Yeah, Ian managing to get equal his best result, and I was just looking at the championship. He might be an outside chance. He's got a few drop rounds to make up later in the season.
Yeah, all right. We'll just see how the points shape up from there. But right now, still progressing, I think, in finishing order, unless my maths is mistaken. Mr. Tim Awema, the Golden Stig himself, with the newly branded Golden Stig channel on Twitch. Another appearance, third in a row in the top split, Tim. Not as high up the order as we've seen in the past, but certainly looked like an action-packed race.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was a really good race tonight. It was good to be in the top split again. I've looked like I cemented my place in there tonight. But the racing is really, really tough, and I haven't done a lot of races here where it's been car after car in a train. So I was just really struggling to get braking markers, work out the guy in front of me, how he was driving. So it did really put it off a little bit tonight, but I'm really happy with an 8th position.
Yeah, mate, I've got to tell you, the racing was surprising for me. Not many mistakes. We've seen the racing here all week. And it doesn't take much to really ruin your night. But I thought you showed good patience out there, and the opportunities, though, they just didn't present. The racing was hard and fast, and everyone managed to keep it straight, which was great for the action on track. But probably, in amongst it there, you were hoping for a slightly higher result, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I thought I would get there. I thought I had the pace leading into the race, and I didn't quite. I thought my last qualifying lap wasn't that crash hot, so that's the one I was relying on. But you know what? That's racing, and as I said, the 8th position and the battle that I had there with John, Jeremiah, and Christabel was really good, and it's the sort of racing I need to keep progressing.
Yeah, mate, I thought it was great. I thought the racing there was fantastic, and you were right in amongst it, mate. So congratulations on the continued purple patch that you're going through, mate. The rise and rise of the Golden Stig, let it continue. But before we let you go, mate, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, big shout out to our sponsors, Morgan Cranes, for the Venom Racing team, and to the Venom Racing boys, especially John Scholz tonight. Great effort to see him up there in 5th position. So really good.
Yeah.
And thanks to you guys as well.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, great to see Scholty up there fighting in amongst it on the front of what was a really racy pack. So congratulations to him, mate. So thanks once again for joining us. Our part-time commentator and now full-time in the top split, the Golden Stig, Mr. Tim Oema. Thanks, mate, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
There you go, AJ. He's become a bit of a fan favourite here in the top split and looking to make much more of it. Congratulations to him, and it was a pretty good drive, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really good to see him battling Cristobal. He certainly challenged Cristobal. Cristobal coming through with a high rate of speed. He was Cristobal into the 39s, so sorry, the 43.9 there. So it was a good job for Tim to keep up and challenge Cristobal, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely it was. Now I'm going to bring up your teammate in Mr. Ben Snell, who, as we said a couple of times, was the victim of his own, well, making tonight with these walls around here. They got a bit hungry and swallowed you up there tonight, Ben.
I can't buy a result lately, can I?
No, mate. They looked like you were right in there for at least the start of it, and the long haul there. It was a pretty good packed race developing in and around you there up the front. But tell us what happened, mate. What brought you unstuck?
Oh, just not paying full attention and respect to the walls. Basically, I overshot turn 2 on whatever lap I died. Gave Ian the run, so I let him through, and then he made a mistake, gave me the run, let me through, and I had a compromised line, and just was too busy thinking about getting back across and not thinking about where the apex was, and touched the curb, and it bounced me into the wall, and thankfully I didn't kill anybody else. I just bounced up and down along the straight.
Yeah, mate, bounce up and down's right. We took an onboard shot there with you trying to turn your car into a sausage roll there, I think, mate, by squishing the wheels in, rolling over and over. But certainly a spectacular way to exit the race, but not perhaps obviously the result you're looking for. But thanks again for joining us here tonight, mate. Hopefully the results will go a bit more your way in the weeks to come. Anyone we can shout out for you before we let you go tonight?
Oh, as usual, you guys for putting the broadcast on. It's good to see Alex still up in the booth and getting better every week as well. So, and of course, shout out to Team Milo.
Excellent. Hashtag Go Team Milo, of course. Well, thanks, Ben, and we look forward
Go
to seeing
Milo.
you in the future weeks, mate.
All right, see you, fellas.
There you go. Another one of the Team Milo races there tonight. Of course, AJ joining us from Team Milo. That was quite a spectacular exit to the race, wasn't it, AJ?
Yeah, look, when that happened, I really didn't know what to say. I was sort of just closing my eyes and hoping for the best because I was just thinking of all those cars coming up behind him, and having seen what happened in the 2K Cup, a few incidents there with cars being stranded on the track and other people collecting them. So just lucky that it didn't ruin anyone else's race tonight.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. But from one early exiter to another, we've got an MNL debutant in the booth here tonight now, Mr. Joe Baldwin, whose first race in the top split tonight did not perhaps go to plan. Joe, mate, tell us what happened there.
The red mist, I think. Yeah, I got onto the train there with Tim, Cristobal, Jemine, I think it was Schultzy. And I just, the nerves got to me, and I was trying to get a good run and just touch the wall, and that was it.
Yeah, that certainly was it, mate. And a quick run through the pits there and back out on it. But unlike many of the races here that we've seen this week, there wasn't the opportunity to come back because there were so few incidents that normally it'd bring you back into it. But unfortunately not the case for you here tonight, just finishing out of the MNL points too, mate. But hopefully in the weeks to come we can see you more in the top split and see some more of that Joe Baldwin style out on track, mate.
Yeah, hopefully we can get there. I had that last little bit there. Ben was chasing me, and I actually pretty much went under him when he dumped it on the straight. But we were lucky there, but unlucky later, he touched it and he got by. So, but hey, look, I had fun and learned a lot anyway. Like these cars are pretty tricky around here, and I picked up nearly a second a lap just by following the guy.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, mate. Well, hopefully that's some lessons in the bank for the weeks to come. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight, mate, before we let you go?
The FNRC guys, look, great bunch of guys, and since I've been running with them, yourself and AJ included, just taught me a lot about racecraft and just trying to stay calm and just a great bunch of blokes to race with. It's good fun, and they were all sort of get in, have a run, so that's why I'm here.
Absolutely. Fantastic praise and very worthy for the FNRC boys. It's a lot of fun and certainly a great bunch to be a part of. So thanks for the racing and the trip up in the commentary booth tonight, mate. We look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks.
No worries. And thanks to the broadcast, both you and AJ. It's a great thing to catch every week. It's good to be a part of it.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Well, hopefully we'll see you in the coming weeks.
Definitely.
There you go. That was Joe Baldwin, his first venture into the top split. Great to see Joe there, not driving the trucks tonight, but driving the skippies. Great to see him out there, but hopefully the results will come his way in the future. Now, we've got a couple of people left. We've got Mr. Fahim Antonides here, whose microphone I can see is muted if he can hear me, hopefully. Fahim was, of course, stuck on the line tonight, and unfortunately, that was pretty much all she wrote. We said with a few people tonight, Fahim, that there wasn't the incidents that might have brought you back into the race, which we've seen in other races this week, but tell us, mate, what happened at the start there?
Well, Alex, I'm only here just to add some comedy value to what happened today because, I mean, firstly, the qualifying didn't go too well. I just couldn't get the car rotating properly, so I ended up having to lift where I should have been accelerating. So I just couldn't string it together. So poor form there. And then obviously that put me right next to Ian, and we had a very similar time. And just before the race, as the countdown was on the grid, as we were counting down. Ian messaged me to say, let's be sensible. I guess this is off the back of the last race that he and I had an encounter. And I right-clicked his name on my black box to PM him, and then to say, and typed indeed. Then sitting there, I thought, something's not right. Sitting on the grid, it's just something's not right. And then when the lights turned, I put the car in gear. When the lights went out, I floored the throttle and nothing happened. The car just didn't move. And then obviously I'm really sorry to Kevin because he had to rear end me at that start at Quarter Mountain. By the time I made it around to the pit, scratching my head, thinking, what the hell happened there? Then I realized that what must have happened is that the chat dialog box didn't come up when I pressed I for indeed. I killed my my engine.
Oh, there
So-
it is.
So I was sitting on the grid with with my engine off.
Oh,
And then
wow.
from there on, I tried. Obviously, I was tried too hard to get back as close as I could, hoping that some of the attrition might come my way. But then I clipped a wall, damaged my suspension, and from then on, the car was understeering to the right and snap oversteering to the left, and took me a couple of laps and a couple of spins to learn how to drive it again. But the steering was useless. I mean, my brake and accelerator were actually better than the steering to get the car around the track. And then Mick Gray caught up with me. I think he was in 12th. I stayed behind him, managed to keep up with him. And he said, "Why don't you pass me, Mitt?" And I said, "No, I don't think I should because I was thinking if I spin again in front of him, there's no point. I'm a lap down." And just as I said that, I said to him, "Carry on." I span again, so I'm glad I didn't pass him again. But it was just, I think this is the worst race I've had in my life.
Yeah, mate. Look, it sounds like it's all happened there, and the wonders of technology. Hey, who would have thought you could turn the engine? Oh, what a pain! I'm sorry to hear that, mate. But I noticed your Team Ivano teammate Enzo was in the chat tonight, not out on track. I know he had a rough ride at the 2K Cup yesterday, so maybe licking his wounds from that. But yourself, mate, I hope that things turn around for you. I mean, you were in P2 in the MNL season so far, coming into this week. Another drop round potentially for you here, but hopefully with 4 drop rounds in play, I think you've used probably 2 now. But still, I think you're well within the hunt for the championship overall.
I hope so. I mean, I'm actually using the MNL races to gain points in the official series because, as you know, this is one of the highest SOF races in the week, and I'm really disappointed by tonight's result because I think that will have dropped me now to second or third in the official championship. But let's hope that moving forward, I can pull that back and use these as drop weeks, as you say.
Yeah, well, that's right, mate. As we know, this is a platform not only for the ANZ club, but for, even your teammate Enzo Kanza. He's won the official seasons on the back of this race. So yeah, you're right. It's a good strategy to use, and it's a good platform here for everyone to use to have a crack at that title as well as the Monday Night Lights itself. So all the best for the future races, mate. And anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Just to you guys for being so patient and interviewing all the drivers in the green room. Thank you very much for that.
It's our pleasure, mate. We look forward to seeing you in the future weeks.
Cheers.
There you go, AJ, saying what I've long maintained there, that the Monday Night Lights is indeed a great platform for Skip Barber racing in the ANZ club, but also for the drivers wanting to have a full tilt at the official season overall.
Yeah, absolutely. 3,300 strength of field tonight, so plenty of points up for grabs.
Yeah, absolutely. Top points scorer tonight, 193. Of course, we were in the top. Where were we here? Let's have a look. 33. We're in the top 5 for the week, certainly, but not the strongest field. The strongest field seems to once again be being cracked regularly in the midweek with a 4,400, which is massive. But certainly we're usually in amongst it and looking to build as always. We have one final person in the green room tonight who's representing the second split runners tonight, I think, or maybe even the third. I don't know. Corey,
yeah.
how'd you go tonight out there on track?
Well, I was in a third split this time tonight. It was a fairly clean race, actually. We only had about 4 disconnections throughout the race, and I ended up finishing in third after having epic battles with both Harwood Hill and David Zhang.
Yeah, mate. Well, epic battles are what it's all about, mate. Fun out there on track, and sounds like even down in the third split, where you can usually get a bit of a roller coaster ride when it comes to incidents and action. You had a similar experience to what we had in the top split, mate. Everyone sort of keeping their nose clean and putting on the good racing.
Yeah, well, that was exactly it. I mean, you still got the odd, someone hit the wall and bent a tire out, but all in all, there was not too much damage. We did have one fairly big incident going into the first corner on the first lap. That looked like it took out a couple of guys, and I think that's where a couple of the first early disconnects happened. But apart from that, it was pretty much a fairly clean race.
Yeah, glad to hear it, mate. Of course, you're over on Twitch. The guys can see you over at Corey. Now, hang on. Corey Has No Life. What's the number after? I keep forgetting.
It's twitch.tv/Corey Has No Life 13.
13, because there's 13. There's 12 other Corys with no life, apparently. Although, I think I used that joke last week as well. But well done, mate. Glad to see that you're getting out there in amongst it on the skips. Go check out Corey's racing. I know he does a lot in the Dirt Oval community as well. A lot of the racing there, but it's a great fun channel to be a part of. And of course, we're all the better for having you in here amongst the skips, mate. And I hope the road to the top split goes well for you in the coming weeks.
Yeah, well, with the Nürburgring being up next week, I'm really excited for that. I actually just recently got gifted that track, so I'm really looking forward to giving that a crack.
Well, mate, all the best with it. They don't call it the Green Hell for nothing, and I hope that we can get a good report from your actions and adventures next week, mate.
Oh, I look forward to it, mate. And while I'm here, I'll give a quick shout out to all the Friday Night Race Club guys. I mean, these guys are really, the reason why I'm getting so heavily into the road side of things now. I'm having so much fun running with them, and a lot of them run skippies too. So, it's always a fun adventure when I'm in a skippy race.
It is, mate. That's what it's all about, getting people on track, getting in amongst one of the best categories in iRacing. Great to start out and great to just spend, some guys never leave the skips, myself included. It's a great racing, wheel to wheel, very close. And the likes of Corey, they're finding out what it's all about. So congratulations on your racing here again tonight, Corey, and we look forward to talking to you in the weeks to come.
Oh, no worries, mate. I'll be here next week, just waiting in the green room for my turn, like normal.
Good man. All right, mate. Thank you. Well, there you go, AJ. That's the end of a very extensive list of folks who like to join us in the booth here tonight, and it's great fun. I mean, it's all about the community and getting the guys in there and having a chat's a lot of fun. Really enjoy it, and we get good insights into what goes on the track as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we like to see, and yeah, it's great to see so many people wanting to get in and have a chat. It's really what makes Monday Night Lights, isn't it? As you say, you get that insight, and you get to hear all the funny stories, like him switching off his engine before the race. So yeah, I look forward to next week and seeing what the guys have to say.
Yeah, well, there's a new press eye to pay respects movement going on in the chat at the moment. And yeah, that's right. It's good to see the community has a bit of humour in there as well. Poor old Fahim. But, mate, you're on Twitch streaming your races. Where can the folks see you, and what will you be racing this week?
Yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday night for the final round of the Australian GT3 Championship, heading to Bathurst. So yeah, catch me at Twitch TV / AJ_77. I'll be doing that, and then the usual Friday, Saturday stuff as well.
Perfect. I'll have to get you your own button here. My details are up there on the screen at the moment, folks. You can find me at the Top Split TV Twitch channel when I stream my races, usually on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I did 4 this week: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So plenty of action there, with a mixture of skip barbers all the way through the Friday night race club races, and into a bit of super skips this week as well. So a lot of fun to be had over there. Feel free to join in the chat or on the track. It's a lot of fun. But as for now, folks, that's going to wind up our Monday Night Lights adventure for another week. I've been your host, Alex McKellar, and on behalf of Alex John, I'd like to wish you a good night and thank you, everyone, for joining us in Chatting on Track tonight. We've had a blast, and it's, as we always say, it's by the community, for the community, and the community participation is what keeps us coming back. So thank you once again, all of you, for joining us here tonight, and until next time, I will say ciao for now.